So these are my sales. As you can see, they're increasing a lot these past few days.
These are my sales, guys. Let me refresh this.
Did you see?
As you can see, guys, there's a big spike right here.
So yeah, as you can see, the demand is up. People are buying a lot more. For some people like us, but for others, I've heard on Facebook that their sales are down. Demand is higher for us, but like we were talking about yesterday,
supply chain is starting to be an issue because we're not able to get as much raw materials into the country, and maybe from China.
Yeah, so in this video, we want to talk about how the coronavirus is affecting our Amazon businesses personally. We'll give you some updates, and not just sales, but also, like we said, supply, like how people getting their products to sell, and how are we going to be getting our products to sell. So I hope you enjoy this video.
So yeah, Summer, 3 of the conferences we were supposed to go to got canceled.
Yes, so I'm currently in the US. I live in Montreal. If you don't know who I am, welcome back to the channel, or welcome to the channel. My name is Brax. This is Mina Elias, a friend of mine, also an Amazon seller. He's a permanent guest.
Permanent guest.
We both sell on Amazon. I live in Canada, he lives here in Los Angeles, and I'm visiting him because we were going to 3 or 4 different conferences.
3 conferences go all canceled.
All canceled.
We still have reservations in Vegas though.
We're probably not gonna go. We're gonna figure out how to cancel them or postpone them.
Yeah.
But things are starting to change here. I just got back from, I went on a trip to Saudi Arabia and to Dubai to visit family and friends. And I booked these way before anything ever happened. But seeing what's going on there, because I feel like it's moving west. You know, it started in China and it's moving west slowly, and it's getting here last.
Yeah, it hit there first.
Yes, I saw the effects there before coming here. I feel like here it's just starting, right?
So it's gonna get a lot worse.
So it's gonna get a lot different. I really don't know how these things work. I don't know what to expect. I've never been through this. Anyway, so my sales are up. Yeah, so my sales are up right here, and it's doubled and even more than doubled the past few days. Right here, the first 2 days of the month, they were pretty high, and then they decreased because I wasn't doing a lot of profit the way or as much as I wanted to, and I played a lot with my PPC campaigns, and I decreased my spend by like $100 per day. And then I started profiting more than I was when I was selling more. So I was happy with the fact that I decreased my PPC spend. And then one day, even with the decrease of PPC, as you can see, boom, it started increasing and increasing and increasing. And today,
so your PPC spend's still the same?
I haven't checked actually, but it's not as much as it was when it was these first 2 bars.
My PPC spend doubled, but my sales more than doubled.
People are buying, I think, because they're home.
Yeah.
And it depends on the product. Why are your sales up?
I have no idea. I mean, maybe people think electrolytes help your immune system.
Yeah, if you don't know, he sells an electrolyte powder
called Hydrolyte,
which is a supplement that people take.
It could be that they think that it's helping their immune system, or it could be that people are home and on their computers working from home more often.
Here's the thing, man. We went to Ralph's, which is a grocery store.
Oh my God.
There were so many people buying so many different things.
It was the line was from the checkout to the end of the whole store, the entire store.
And then I heard a guy on the phone walking around. He's like, I just feel like I have to buy something. I don't know what to buy. So I feel like
people are sheep.
Yeah, they're not thinking too much. It's like, why do you need so much toilet paper?
Why are people buying toilet paper? Can someone answer this in a scientific way?
So let's talk about your supply chain, because let me talk about mine first.
Yeah,
so I source from China. He sources from the US and a tiny bit from China. Obviously, China got hit first. During Chinese New Year's, they had the break, and then that's when it hit and everyone was quarantined and they had to stay home. And I did another video, I'll link it at the end of this video, where I talked to a Chinese, or someone who was selling in the US and lived in China and had to evacuate. So you can see his experience in that next video. But China, they went on vacation for Christmas, and then they stayed home. So they couldn't go back to factories. So they closed for a while. We couldn't order anything. Obviously, people are home. They're not manufacturing.
Back in business.
So the supply chain got hit.
And it's like a domino effect, because it got hit, what, like a month ago?
Yeah.
And it's now we're feeling the effects of, like, because everyone had some stuff in stock in the US and it ran out.
That could be why I'm selling more. Maybe because when China closed down, people are running out of stock now.
Ooh.
And I'm the only person or one of the only sellers that did not run out of stock. So China closed, but then they opened and I just put an order. And now I'm only worried about the shipping part. Like, if China's working, cool. but then they ship it to the US and the US is all messed up.
The US is not really working.
Are my products gonna get to Amazon? But yeah, I know it's a lot bigger than just like making money and selling your products, and like this is a sickness, people are dying. But at the same time, like you have to think about your own self too. Like you're trying to get by day.
Yeah.
And it is a problem to think about. It's not like we shouldn't think about this and we should only think about sick people.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I mean, okay, you know, there's sick people out there, cool, but like also
not cool, but
yeah, no, I mean not cool, but also like we have to like get get money so we can live. Like this
Yeah.
is my sole like.
We're not gonna forget about this and like worry about something that we can't control. Really.
Exactly, we really can't control it.
I put in an order and I'm waiting for it to come from China. But now you're affected because you source from the US, and now what's happening here?
So now the US has issues, right? Because everyone's being ordered to go home and not work. So there's very little supply of the materials that I need. It's gonna be a tough time for me in terms of supply chain, because it's like my demand is up and I'm selling more, and I call my manufacturer, I'm like, I need more, and he's like, well, like, you know, I might be able to like front you a batch, but then we need to make some changes. So
how's your manufacturer reacting? Is he panicking?
He's freaking out.
He's freaking out?
Yeah.
Because he's older, right?
He's
Like,
older, and he's
experienced.
been through the 2008 recession. He said that this could be as bad as the Great Depression.
Really?
Yeah, which is scary, because like this guy, like he's made a lot of money. He's like lived through a lot. He started from nothing, right? He started 18 years old, zero,
Yeah.
came to the US.
And like, we're children. We don't know what's going
We
on.
don't
This is
know.
our first experience in business, or one of our first.
So like for someone like him who's made like hundreds of millions of dollars to tell me like that this could be as bad as the Great Depression, I was like, oh, whatever, stocking up, like I don't need to stock up. Like when he said, he's like, listen, you need to stock up. He's like, it could get as bad as like you need to like, you know, everyone needs to fend for themselves. I'm like, okay, like now I started getting scared, because like this is like a professional.
He said, don't go to the gym.
He said, don't go to the gym, stay away from public areas.
Again, that's one person's opinion.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So.
Don't freak out too much over one person's opinion, but do take things into consideration.
Yeah.
So what's gonna happen for your business, for your supply?
I'm gonna have to adapt.
So
Yeah.
that's one good piece of advice to give people.
Adapt, guys. Like, I mean, this shit's gonna happen, so you better be ready.
Yeah. What are you seeing on Facebook? What are people saying about this?
Everyone's freaking out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here's the thing. My advice is don't go on Facebook too often.
Yeah.
Like you already know what's going on, and if anything is gonna be bad enough, it's gonna like the news is gonna reach you. But you being on Facebook and hearing negative things all the time is not gonna help you in any way.
I think freaking out about it is not gonna help you. Just like be safe.
Be safe. Try to stay home as
Be
much as
smart.
possible. I know we're in a car right now, but we're going home.
We're going home.
Like I'm still trying to travel back to where I'm supposed to end up. Don't go on Facebook too much. Worry about your own things.
And adapt. Like, you know, if things hit the fan, you need to be ready. So do whatever you can. You know, the more adaptable you are, the better off you're gonna be.
One other thing that we talked about was we're laughing about a lot of things. Like we're taking them not as serious as we probably should. And everyone, not just us. Like there's memes out there everywhere.
There's a lot of memes.
There's a lot of videos going viral of like, you know,
Corona stuff.
the toilet paper stuff. But I was telling them like that's how it was back in 2006. I lived in Lebanon, or I was in Lebanon in the summer, and there was a war that happened with Israel, and I was living like an hour or two from where the main war was happening. And I was just with my cousins all day, like hanging out, just doing our thing. We're like, haha, there's a war. Like, imagine if it comes. We're laughing about it.
It was like, oh, it's never gonna.
Yeah,
come
it's
here.
like, yeah, it's funny. If it comes, what would we do? Haha. And then we're laughing about it just as we are now. And then one day I'm just sitting at home in my bedroom playing Sims on my computer, and then next thing you know, it's like bombs everywhere.
Explosions.
So it goes like this. It goes from like laughing about it to, oh shit, what do we do? Like, it's here.
Yeah.
And it's not really about the sickness only and like health-wise, but it's also about business and like living your day-to-day life. Like, what if tomorrow they're like, you can't leave the house? One thing to mention is we've seen people raise prices for like toilet paper on Amazon or just random things. But who was it that you heard from that Amazon is suspending people for raising their price too much? Because when demand goes up and supply goes down,
Prices go up.
You would think of raising price to
That's how it works.
yeah, not only to profit more, but also to like make sure you don't run out of stock.
Yeah.
So we considered raising prices ethically. I haven't done it yet. You did it.
I did it.
What happened when you did?
So with my first brand, my sales went down. So I was like, no.
What was the
It's
increase?
$1.
Oh, really?
Yeah, but then the other one, I raised it $6, and it's still selling well.
Okay.
I don't know who I heard it from, but it was definitely one of our friends, our mutual friends. And he said Amazon is like finding anyone who raised their prices a lot. I think that just any large increase in price,
Yeah.
they're suspending them, doing an investigation on their stuff. So
Yeah, don't quote us on this. Fact check it a bit, but look into it. And if you want to raise your price, just consider this.
be careful, maybe like $1.
Anyways,
a day.
on a regular day, if you raise your price too much, Amazon punishes you by taking away the buy box. Like,
True.
So it is a usual punishment, and I feel like now they would take it more seriously. Hey guys, Madi just joined us, and he's a friend of ours who's also an Amazon seller. He's had different issues with this too, so I wanted to get his perspective.
So there's a couple things with the suppliers. One thing is, one of them is in China, one is in Vietnam. We haven't really been in touch because we're good on the supply from the Vietnam supplier. The one in China has been hard to stay in touch with. Obviously, they're going through a lot. As far as always having multiple agents that you actually talk to, I realize that's something we'll always be doing in the future.
Yeah, but what is the problem? The problem is that they're not responding at all.
Right.
Which I haven't heard of before.
I have not heard back from one of our main suppliers.
So you haven't heard back from your suppliers
Exactly. Yeah, so going to my point of having multiple agents, maybe if I had multiple reps that I was speaking to, one would answer, one wouldn't. We don't know. But that would somewhat mitigate the risk. Obviously, their country is going through a lot, as is the rest of the world. But if you can't get in touch with your supplier, the next question is, well, what do you do, right? You can only do what you can control.
Yeah, so what are you doing?
So we're starting to think about what other suppliers could manufacture our product.
Did you run out of stock?
A lot of the factories, no, we haven't ran out of stock yet. Our sales have kind of honestly been slower anyway, since everything's been happening.
Okay, so he's a case of slow sales. We're cases of fast
sales.
Growing sales.
Yeah, so our sales have definitely slowed down. And it's gonna just depend on your product and the market that you're in. But yeah, everyone is working out, I guess, taking that free workout.
Oh, baby. What about your corporate job? What do you do there, and what's been happening?
Yeah, so my team, actually, I work in risk management on the IT side, and at one of the banks out here in California.
Risk management, which is exactly what's going on now.
Exactly. So my team got pulled in to help the business continuity team, which is basically helping with the pandemic planning. It's been pretty crazy. It's really cool, and I'm grateful that I can be involved in really seeing how you strategize around addressing an issue like this. A lot of people's business continuity and incident response plans, a lot of companies are going to be very strengthened after whatever ends up happening. It's all being stress tested as it's actually happening.
Yeah.
Whether that's everyone that works from home, can the networks handle all of that traffic, and how to get everybody remote, because there's certain parts of the business that can work remote and certain parts of the business that can't. Prioritizing based on criticality of the business function and the business operation. It's more of the entire industry pinging back and forth like, hey, what are you guys doing? And sharing the information on how are you addressing this situation? Because there's a lot of things that are happening, and you have to be, while you're trying to be proactive, you also have to look at what's happening in the news, because laws are coming out, you have Trump declaring state of emergency, like all of these things impact the business, and you have to take that. You might have a plan, some news comes out, and you have to pivot on the plan.
Guys, click right here if you want to see the video where I interviewed Brandon Young, who's a seller who was in China when everything happened and he had to evacuate. Get his more professional opinion on this virus and how it's affecting his business. So click right here to watch, and I'll see you guys there. Peace.
I was just in China. They got on the news and they were like, tell everyone to just get some supplies and basically lock themselves